Hello guys, my name is Galina Pinchuk. I'm the manager and matchmaker at Lady from Belarus marriage agency, and today's video will be a bit different. We talk on 18th of October 2022 with our ex-customer from United States that decided to share his experience about using our services and recent travel to Minsk. I hope you may find it useful. Hello, Addison. Nice to meet you. Let's start our conversation with the classic question that usually is asked on every meeting at our agency from both sides. Why you decided to look for Slavic woman?
Um, uh, Actually, I didn't. um, I was in Minsk. I was supposed to be there for just a week, but when I arrived at border control, this was a year and a half ago. So they told me because of the pandemic, I would have to be there for 10 days. So I had some extra time. And I had after the work that I was doing there was finished, I had nothing to do, so I decided to to, to go see if I could meet someone.
Okay, and so it was some kind of business trip from your side to Belarus.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of the things I'm doing is writing a novel. It takes place in a number of cities, and Minsk is one of the cities where the action takes place. So I was there to do research.
Wow, I would definitely want to read your novel.
Okay, well, it will be translated. You'll have to wait about 5 years probably, but it will be translated into Russian too.
I hope I can read in English. So it was your first attempt to meet a lady through a marriage agency.
In Belarus, I have met. I had a relationship with a woman from Ukraine years ago, and we had a relationship, but then she passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry. And was it your first visit to Belarus?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how you mentioned Belarus before your trip? So, did it coincide the reality, or it was different from your expectation?
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect. Really, it's very similar. I've been to Ukraine many times. It's similar but different than Ukraine. So, and I've also I've traveled to many countries. So, you know, every place is different and new and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Minsk was very much an interesting city. I spent a lot of time walking around.
Mm-hmm. So, do you speak Russian a little bit or not?
Я немного по-русски, но должен говорить свободнее. Через года, надеюсь. Anyway, you can see I need,
Amazing.
I practice every day. So hopefully in a year I'll be much more fluent because now I'm watching Russian movies and I have a very good study book, and then I talk to my friend. We communicate in Russian all the time, through letters and Skype.
I see. So now I would like to ask you something about our agency, but I don't want to ask you the exact questions Maybe you can share your experience in your
Sure.
words and in your way that you would
No,
like.
yeah, why don't I tell you what my opinion is? I've been to a number of agents. I had been to a number of agencies in Ukraine, and well, the problem with a lot of agencies in general in Eastern Europe is that you don't know if you can trust them or not. And I don't want to. There are lots of reasons for that. Um, to I chose your agency just out of chance. I just decided, oh well, it sounds like I'll go and try. Why not? And I was surprised that what happens with a lot of agencies is they try to get as much money from foreigners as possible. Your agency didn't do this. I asked for a translator. What you charged for the translator was very reasonable. You were very willing to help me. I didn't feel like I was being taken advantage of, quite honestly. So, so I have so and it was very obvious to me that your agency, the point of your agency was to match women with potential partners. And I was very happy about that. I knew, it was the meeting. The meeting itself was very well. When I think about it, it was very amusing.
Mhm.
I had a meeting for an hour. I spoke in Russian most of the time, and uh, and everything that uh, everything that I said to the lady, she agreed with. She said, "Oh yeah, okay, that sounds like a good idea." And this went on for an hour, and at the end of the meeting, honestly, I really didn't expect to have any result. You know, because it's really hard to find a match. But at the end of the meeting, I said I didn't say this out loud. I said to myself, well, I should probably marry this woman because it seems that we really have everything in common and there's no problem anywhere. And that's how I felt. I was kind of like in a daze a little bit. I was just kind of surprised. And because usually when you talk to someone for the first time, there's tension, there's a little tension, there's a little problem with communication, and none of that happened. So the the funny thing was, it was the last day that I was there. I was going to return home the next day. She thought she she was disappointed that I didn't call her up after the meeting and ask her to go out for dinner or something. Well, I couldn't because I had to go home. Um, so anyway, I returned to America. I sent her an email, and she didn't, where she worked, she gets hundreds of emails. So she didn't see the email for 2 weeks. And
Mhm.
I thought, well, okay, I guess she wasn't interested. But then she, wrote back, and then we were in communication forever.
That's
That was a
very.
year and a half ago. So,
Mhm.
and we did find. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you how you continue communication. So you wrote emails or you communicated by Skype like we are talking right now?
Yeah, we did both. We wrote emails. We still do this. We write emails every day, but it's difficult. Skype usually once or twice a week. We try. I did meet her. I spent 10 days with her in last August, and we're going to meet again. That was in Minsk, and we're going to meet in a month, exactly a month, in Istanbul, and we're going to spend 10 days together there for our next big date. But we talk all the time. We had a great time together, the 10 days in Minsk. And I have to say that I know that because of the current situation, a lot of men would probably be concerned about traveling to Belarus. And I can say at this time, there's no problem at all. I mean, as long as you don't do anything political, just be a normal person and you will have no problem at all. And of course, the best way to get to go to Belarus is you either fly to Poland or to Lithuania, and then take a bus. That's really, I mean, you can, the other way is to go by way of Istanbul, but it does take a lot longer and the connections aren't that good. At least mine weren't. So that's, I would recommend to men that the most economic way is to, I went to Vilnius, Lithuania, and then I took a bus, and the bus was 5 hours. It was actually 3 hours of driving time and 2 hours at the border. It does take time to cross the border. So very normal. There weren't police or there weren't soldiers or there wasn't anything like that on the streets. Everybody it was completely normal and completely safe. In fact, Belarus, it's my understanding that Belarus is one of the safest countries, and clean. It's also very, very clean. So, and the food is very good too. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. I always like when our visitors enjoy Belarus. It's usually a surprise when people first time come to Belarus, and they see that it's as beautiful and clean as most of nicest cities in the world, and that everything is calm here. So there are no manifestation, there are no some evident problem. Of course, the current situation, we do have some problems, but I still insist that Belarus at the moment is safe for foreigners, and so I'm very happy that our customers understand that. Of course, at the moment, yeah, we also have people coming to our agency, but most of them are in your situation when they already have some contacts with Belarus, when they have been here already before, so they have some experience and they are not afraid. So thank you that you initiated this conversation. Maybe it will help some of our customers to understand that Belarus is worth visit.
And also I want to say that if there is someone who is really worried, and you can give them my email address and they can write me, and I would be happy to talk to them and give them advice about how to travel, how to get there, what kinds of situations to anticipate, and just
my YouTube channel. Yeah, my YouTube channel is not popular one, but still it could be too many requests for you to share the experience. Would you like to tell something about your woman that you are communicating with, or we will not?
Well, sure. To be honest, she's the nicest woman I have ever met. She's also, well, this is something else for the men to understand, is that she's more conservative, let's say, than American women. In other words, you have to court a Belarusian woman. She needs time. Now, keep in mind, I'm 69 years old and she is 59 years old. And so she, dating is a little bit different, I think, in Belarus than it is in America. Women are going to be they're going to be cautious. They want to, first of all, they need to feel that they can trust the man. I mean, one question that I was always asked when I was in Ukraine and dated some women there was, why are you interested in dating a Ukrainian woman? They didn't understand. Why would you want to come here when you can be in America? And my answer is, with dating Mila, is well, I was born and grew up in Europe, and I travel a lot, and I like the idea of being in a relationship with a woman from a different culture. I'm a student of Eastern European culture. I study a lot. My novel is very involved in that research, and I really like Slavic culture. I find it very very rich. It's a very, very rich culture, and so for me, it's in a way it's more of an adventure, and I like the. I mean, my personal preference is are women who are more, I'd say, traditional. But this is a generalization, and every woman and every man is different, and it's just a question of, well, if you're lucky, you find your match.
Yeah. It's really luck to make one date and find the one, because usually our customers do like many dates, like in average, like
Yeah, and
5 to 7, even to 10.
right. I think it's difficult, but at the same time, if you're going to go out, if you're going to meet a new potential partner, why not make a holiday out of it? So if you're going to go to Belarus, stop in Vilnius. Vilnius is a very beautiful city, or someplace, or Warsaw in Poland, and look around there. And then when you get to Belarus, you have this whole new culture to explore. It gives you a lot to do when you're on the date with your potential new partner. And I think it's, in many ways, it's really quite stimulating.
Mhm.
Of course, I got lucky, but I mean, I've it does take time. Often it takes a lot of time to meet the right person. Also, I want to say that I think a lot of men might be concerned about the difference in language. And let me say that if you meet a woman who is really nice, but she doesn't speak English, you can communicate with her using Google Translate, which is now very good. You can write letters. And also, you can learn to speak some Russian. And if there's a strong enough connection there, she will also learn to speak English. So don't let the language difference scare you away. It's just another part of the adventure. And honestly, Now that I know that Mila and I are going to be together, I have no doubt about it. I watch Russian television and movies almost every night. I study every day, and I practice and practice and practice. And that's the key to learning any language. If you use it, you'll learn it. It's not that difficult. And don't let the different alphabet scare you. It's really not that big a deal. Look at the alphabet and they say, how can you do this? And I say, oh, come on. It's very easy.
Thank you. Thank you for the conversation. It's so nice to hear about experience from your side. Thank you that you give me permission to film our conversation. That's that's very nice.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So guys, thank you for watching this video. What I wanted to show with it turned out a little bit spontaneous, but what I wanted to show that everything is possible, even finding the love on the other part of the planet, and coming to Belarus in 2022.